everybody. Hello, hello, hello. And it's been a good minute. It's been a good minute since we've been on a live stream, but it is summertime. The surprise family vacation is over, and it has been a day. It has been a day for sure. Um, Yesterday, holy holy cow, absolutely blew me away. I think if Sony doesn't pay attention to what happened yesterday, then I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. Because yesterday, if you go to because yesterday I was following a Max's live stream and checking all the sources that he's checking up numbers on, and let's just say yesterday I pulled up the same resource that he was on. We broke the numbers for yesterday's live stream for day one Renegades, which is impeccable. Which I haven't even checked it this morning, which I'll probably do real quick. No, I'll do that later. I'll do it later. All right. But anyways, right. So today, if you were not able to get into the day one Monument of Triumph yesterday, then today, do not worry, because we're going to go into it with a fresh perspective. Well, pseudo fresh perspective. I did get the opportunity to jump on the game yesterday. I was thankfully one of the first people in, which was I was watching the clock. I was watching my console update and then watching the timer go at the same time, and I was literally racing the clock the entire time. But today, we have a few things on the agenda today. Not so much of the exciting build crafting. We will be getting into that some today, but I can honestly say yesterday when I logged into the game and I was looking at all the new stuff that Bungie released for this Monument of Triumph update, I got overwhelmed with all the new content that they have added. And I'm pretty good at looking at a setup, looking at, subclass, build, stats, armor sets, whatever, and like one artifact. But when they give us 7 different artifacts to pull from and the whole layout has changed, like, it's crazy. Because now because with the 6 different subclasses, 7 different artifacts, new abilities, new weapons. Because if you haven't seen it, we have not 1, not 2, but 3 new exotic weapons. 3 new exotic weapons. We have the brand new hand cannon that we get from the reward pass, that being the turncoat, and whoo, man, this thing is awesome. I got to play test some of this yesterday, and I gotta say, this packs a punch. This is awesome. Like, if this, they combined almost like in 8 volatile rounds and put it on last word, right? It was, and I know I'm tempted to go ahead to make a build and test the new hand cannon on Lucky Pants, right? I know Lucky Pants got nerfed, but man, this thing was awesome yesterday to use. So I'm definitely going to be play testing this a lot more. We also ended up getting a brand new exotic too, an exotic fusion, not fusion, a linear fusion rifle that does as much weakening as Tractor Cannon does. So I saw people yesterday saying goodbye Tractor Cannon, hello, I think it's Fafhrir or whatever, the exotic linear future rifle. And then, as I'm going to bed last night, I open up Twitter and I see people raving about there's a brand new hidden exotic fusion rifle. And I'm thinking to myself, like, dadgum, how much did Bungie put into this game? Like, goodness, if they only told us they were putting in 1 more exotic, and they go put in 2 more different exotics, right? I want to know how much more do they put into this game? How much more did they sneak into this game just to have people keep coming back? Which is under the overall goal, is to have people continue to come back and come back and come back, so that we can show those numbers to Sony and saying, hey, check this out. The game that everyone thought was dead ain't so dead. So, but anyways, all that to say. So, If this is your first time actually taking a look at the brand new update, the portal is officially gone. We are back to the director, and I gotta say, when I logged in yesterday and I saw the director, I just sat here and stared at this for a few minutes because this is absolutely gorgeous. All right, you have every single planet that we've encountered, almost every single planet that we've encountered that is available to us. They added the Lawless Frontier for Mars. They added Kepler off to the side, and then if you are very much if you're someone that if you like the portal, if you like the solo ops, well, I did some exploring yesterday, and those solo ops are actually going to be under the Vanguard ops. So you have your Vanguard, which is everything that's like PvE. Then you have Crucible, which is obviously your PvP. I won't do that on this channel. And then you have the Gambit ops, which is, well, Gambit. And then you have your raids and your dungeons here, and you have Pantheon, and then your seasonal hub, right? But if you're looking for those solo hub or the solo ops, which I know we cover a lot here on this channel, at least we did at the start of this channel, but you have your Fire Team ops, you have your Pinnacle ops, which they did update and say that the newly introduced, but newly reintroduced into the solo ops 0-hour exotic mission that you get the Outbreak Perfected Pulse Rifle from is now part of the Pinnacle ops, which is kind of weird because I think 0-hour and Seraph Shield were the only two that did not go into the actual Pinnacle ops. So as of this point, every single exotic weapon that you get from an exotic mission is now under the Pinnacle tab, right? So we have a lot of work to do ahead of time, or in the meantime, right? Making those exotic mission guides that people are starting to come in and ask for. I saw someone asked for the Slayer's Fang, which is going to be under Kel's Fall, right? But regardless, okay, you have your inner ops, and then you have your solo ops. Not much change. There is one change, though. I did run a solo ops yesterday, and it's kind of ironic because if you run a solo ops, you notice, a while back, and I say a while back, it's like maybe 3 days at this point, that we had at least 2 champions that showed up. That icon potential showed up. So you had to prep for at least 2 possible champions. But when you actually got into the live mission itself, you notice that there's only one. Right? A lot of times it was barrier champions or overload champions. There wasn't either or. Right? So I think that may have been an update feature here, because now when you look at the actual solo ops and the champion pulls up, there's only one icon, which accurately reflects the content that is within the actual mission. But if you have not actually been onto the game itself, the moment that everybody, I would argue, has been waiting for is when you jump into the tower. Your tower has been updated a little bit, but the biggest update is inside. So let's go ahead and log on into the tower itself. And I gotta say, when I logged in, when I jumped at the tower for the first time yesterday, I can genuinely say that I sat there and someone was chopping onions in my game room for a second, because there was some tears starting to form up in my eyes for a second, just because it's been such a long time since we've seen this. Most you probably already know what I'm talking about at this point, but just to keep the suspense there. Coming back to Earth, and finally, there it is. Big old Traveler's back. I literally just sat here at one point, just staring at it, because it was such a sight to see. Seeing the Traveler back in the tower, it was awesome to see. But yeah, I'm just gonna say it for a second. I will say that shot that I got yesterday was actually, I would say it's a very beautiful picture yesterday of my Warlock sitting in front of the Traveler at sunset. It was pretty cool. But regardless, okay, when you end up coming in, right, you're gonna see all this giant now, almost like it's a monument of triumph. But when you come in, right, the first thing you're gonna prompt to read the statue here. It's almost like a thank you from the actual dev team okay, of the Guardians themselves. And then you're going to end up exploring these 4 different tenets here. Now, as you go through exploring them, right, tenet of bravery, tenet of devotion, the tenet of sacrifice, tenet of death. Okay, the first one you're obviously going to look for, and the main one you're going to be working with the entire time, is the tenet of bravery. Now, if you've ended up seeing the Twitter updates, and I recommend to you guys, well, I recommend, past tense, that if you want to stay on keep up with the most recent news and most minor news as far as Bungie is concerned, to actually follow them on Destiny 2 the team, or Destiny 2 team on Twitter or X, whatever it's called nowadays, and to keep up with that, because one thing they did post was that since they were taking away all the seasonal events, such as Guardian games, such as Solstice, such as the Dawning, right? They had to figure out what to do with all those weapons. So what they did was they ended up putting them here in the monument or the tenet of bravery. Now, if you end up going into them, right, reclamation, all of your event weapons are located here. You have your lawless event weapons, your solstice events. So you do have the Yeartide Apex available to us again. The armor. So this is where you can get easy access to your lustrous armor, right? Where it gives us that solar buff. I will say this, honestly, this probably makes me some of the happiest right here, because unfortunately during the time that the solstice event of 2025 was going on, I was in the process of moving, and I did not have access to Destiny 2 until after Solstice ended. And this was right after they released armor sets. So I completely missed the opportunity to get the lustrous armor and the solar buffing that it gives. And even the weapons too. Right, but yeah, you have your eerie weapons. So this is from the Halloween events, your Christmas events, or your winter events, whatever you want to call it. And then your Guardian game events. So if you end up seeing that the Arc Warlock video that is honestly about at 19,000 views right now. Okay, and you see that I'm using the Curianos. Okay, this is where you can get it now. Yeah, you don't have to wait another year to get it. Right, get your legendary marks. It only takes 2 of them to get 1 Engram, and you can just keep on farming this pool right here until you get the Curianos for yourself. All right. Then on every single tenet, you're gonna. Oh wait, man, I didn't see this button right here. Oh yeah, that's right. You got your Pinnacle Ops weapons. All right. You get your good shot right here. Got your Crucible weapons right here. Pure Recollection. Mana Macro tool. I know that's a big one, although I don't do PvP. And your seasonal weapons. All right. Mida mini tool right here, Drang right here. And then you got some emblems. Now, I have my perfect emblem on me. I don't think I'm ever going to change it. Where'd it go? Wait a minute. Oh, by the way, if you want to change your emblem now, this is a new thing that they ended up putting on, or at least a reminder for everybody, is that if you go down to your emblems and you see, hey, where'd that emblem go that I wanted to get? Oh, that's fine, because all the emblems that you've ever received are going to be under the Collections tab, under Flare, and ta-da! Now, me, personally, I'm going to go into Account, and I am re-requiring the Old Lights emblem. Because, yes, I am an old fart that's been playing Destiny for a very long time. I have been playing it since the Red War, and this just looks cool, right? Seeing that tab of journeys that we've made up until Renegades has just been awesome. But so you have your tenet of bravery there with all those goodies right there. Then you have the tenet of devotion, where you can get some sparrows, some new shaders. It looks like you have to get some triumphs to unlock them first, some SRL triumphs specifically. Yep, this one all looks to be SRL related. Tenet of sacrifice, which looks like it's easier access now, but we have some very good. What's this right here? Oh, that was a Death Star for a second. Some ghost shells, some ships. All right, some armor ornaments. Ooh, that looks. Oh, that's the Scion one. There's the Scion one. Someone pointed this out in the trailer real quick that we were getting a Scion set. So I'm like, where'd it go? There it is. All right, got some pretty good. That's like a Venus flytrap one. That's pretty cool. All right. Basically, what this is, I'm going through and exploring this with like the fresh set of eyes. So those of you who are watching, you're getting a fresh perspective as well. And then you got the Tenet of Death right here, which is right. More stuff of this. Oh, it looks like we have some hunter ornaments. And Chatterwhite, right? You have to get requires a triumph for the bird. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually kind of funny. All right, so these are kind of the big things that you're hunting for, right? This in kind of one of the big things you're hunting for is going through the legendary marks, complete those triumphs, which you can always have access to. Featured Monument of Triumphs under the Monument of Triumph tab, and we can see that I speak to Lodi on Europa. And you pretty much just go in here, and the goal is to clear every single one of these triumphs, because I believe when you do is when you get the icon for, or you become immortal. And I feel like the hope of all this too is that, whoa, what gave me a 50? Huh, cool. I actually go through and actually look at these here soon, but I wanted to knock off the checklist first, and then we'll go have some fun. All right, but when you go through, kind of the main thing that you're hunting for right now, because I'm not gonna lie, I have a sneaky suspicion that with everything that they've put into this game, that the goal is to entertain users, entertain Destiny 2 players long enough so that we can show Sony, hey, there's still a demand for this game. All right, finally clear those postmaster notifications. Oh my gosh, I'm one away from being full. Just kind of a nonchalantly cleared this out real quick. There are still some bugs working out, because if you notice here, right, we got some distorted engrams and right that are not showing, but maybe it's because we don't have the room for them. All right, some Shrewd Survivor, Thriving Survivor. Ooh, okay, so here's a good preview, right, of one of the new armistices we're getting, Luminopotent. Seems like it works really well with Arc, because it really has those verbs of Amplified and Jolt. But while Amplified, your fusion rifles, linear fusion rifles, and heat weapons gain increased handling, reload, and vent speed. And then finally, final blows of Jolt or against jolted combatants create ionic traces. Very cool stuff there. All right. And then there is the update to the Eververse store, which if you play Destiny for any long period of time, you do know you do have access to the Eververse store at all times. But if you notice, the Bright Dust tab is gone. Instead, it's been replaced by the Bright Engrams tab. Now, what this is you can, and kind of like how it is for Master Rahool, if you use anything except for the exotic ciphers, but you can cash on your Eververse engrams to get a random roll of about, well, anything. But then also at the same time, right, you can focus it for certain specific items. So if there's a certain exotic weapon ornament you wanted, right, you can focus that with requirements of some Bright Dust and one Eververse engram. Okay? Then you got your emotes and your shaders and all the flares down here. Okay? Now, if you log in, right, and you see that if you're a big LFR linear fusion rifle user and you see, oh man, that there is, how do I get my hands on that exotic linear fusion rifle? Well, no need to worry there, because it's actually pretty easy to get to, right? Once you end up completing, in fact, you'll be given a few legendary marks. If you've logged in for the first time and you interact with the monument here, you'll be given enough legendary marks, or you should be given enough legendary marks to come up here to the Tenet of Sacrifice. I believe it's this one. I might be wrong. Tenet of Devotion. It's one of the 4 tenets. It'll be available to you. Okay, let's try Tenet of Bravery. Okay, there's 2 mines. There it is, right here. The Fafnir. Okay, and it was, I want to say it's maybe 50, maybe. 2550, somewhere like that. But you should be given enough to come in and get your hands on the Fafnir already. So as you log in, you'll automatically have access to 2 of the new exotic weapons that are released to us. First being the Fafnir, and this is kind of what it looks like here. Consume a portion of this weapon's reserves to overpressurize it, causing it to dramatically weaken. And people have already tested this is the same level of weaken that Tractor Cannon does. So the benefit of this gun here is that you can apply Tractor Cannon weaken from a long distance. So if you are running with a fire team and you have that DPS focused person who's in the front, or if you have your shield tank to help them out, if you're a back row person, let your back row person use this weapon and they can still apply Tractor Cannon weaken to the boss from a distance. Okay. Now, kind of get into the rest of it here. Once you actually come in, and the kind of the big questions are too, right? What about the ability upgrades? Okay. Well, if I go into my hunter here, my solar hunter here, and I go into the actual subclass, I look at the aspects, and I can see, hey, Crackshot's not there. Where do I get it? Okay, this is also going to apply to the Warlocks as well as the Titans. But just like when you're if you are a new light, and you go to Ikora to unlock your icons, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to go all the way up to Ikora and get your hands on the new aspects. Give me just a second. So I'm looking at my settings right now, and I'm noticing that I don't think I'm getting any game audio right now. I think it's showing, and it's not actually picking it up. So bear with me for just a second. There we go. Now we can hear that beautiful tower music. It's already a bit too loud. Awesome. All right, so back to it then. Okay, so how is it that you end up getting your hands on these new aspects? Well, you go none other than down to Ikora, and she's going to give you some dialogue about kind of introducing of why all of a sudden the drop off. Right? Why all of a sudden the switch from, because we were on the pursuit, trying to hunt down the 9, and all of a sudden, we're not doing it anymore. So she gets kind of some backstory as to that is as far as some lore for you lore hunters out there. But anyways, to actually get your hands on the new aspects, jump onto Ikora, buy the new aspect, and then just like before, just like you guys have done before, meditate at the sphere and get your hands on the new aspect. Now, with that said, too, okay, the last couple things that you want to explore is that Ikora will tell you to go and look for Lodi, and Lodi is now located in the tower, right?
Don't be a stranger, compadre.
Sorry about that. I had to sneeze for a second. I didn't want to sneeze and blast everyone's ears out. But jump into the tower, go on down, hook to the right, all the way past down to Lodi.
Ah, thought that was you.
And speak to him and get started. Apparently I have an abandoned quest here.
Only people who understands what it's like to be an emissary. I can't believe
My man's got some telekinesis going on right now. It's actually looking pretty cool. Now, one final thing though too, before we actually get down into ability testing and the build crafting, kind of the action pack stuff, is you want to hook on over down to the Drifter, right? Because if you end up pulling up your map, you'll see that there is an exotic quest icon down off to the right, and that is where the drifter is, and that is going to be the start of getting your hands on the exotics. I'm guessing is the exotic fusion rifle for the Pantheon. I'll be looking and researching that some more, but I would assume that this is what it means. But get your hands on the exotic quest, and you can see, right, Drifter's been changed, right? He does have the reputation, but they did say reputation was coming back. But then at the same time, you can focus your armor to take a look at the Drifter gear, right? And the Drifter, what the Gambit gear does, sprinting for a short time grants a period of improved reload speed and handling, and then while Adrenaline Rush is active, Final Blows grant special ammo progress. Final Blows against powerful combatants, guardians, and Taken. And, Taken. Interesting. Grants additional progress. That's very interesting. I didn't see that line yesterday. That this will work against the Taken. What other guns does he have? I did not stop and see that. Nice. Nice. I'm not very much a... Gnawing Hunger's back. One of my favorite guns of all time. When I was first really getting into Destiny in Season of the Arrivals. Right? Back before they sunsetted everything. This was by far my favorite auto rifle to use ever. And it got a tier 5 upgrade. That is awesome to see. And we got Bad Omens. Bad Omens is back. This is awesome right here. This is awesome to see right here. Man. This is awesome. Alright, but anyways, to finally get back down into it, one other thing to get into is that if you still have your hands on those exotic requisition orders, okay, meaning those things that Bungie handed out to everybody when Edge of Fate dropped, when they did the rework, you can go into and it will still be here. They did not take it away. I just used my very last one. I was rationing those like crazy. And then I thought they were going to go away, so I used my last one yesterday. But you can still go to 81. It will still be here. Now, as far as intro things for the tower goes, I want to say that's probably about it. At least that's as far as I've discovered for the new stuff to interact with here at the tower. There are still a few Easter eggs here and there, like for example, is this one allow me to do it? Nope. Okay. I would, and I encourage you guys, those of you that are catching this on the restream, right? Go back and go check out the tower for yourself. Go and explore it. Oh, it did grow. I saw someone tweeted this yesterday. The tree finally grew, which is that's pretty cool. Because yeah, I remember being at the top here and jumping down and like we jumping through the branches. That's kind of pretty. All right, yeah, go through and actually explore for yourself. Like for example, right? You can assist the sweeper bot. You can assist the sweeper bot. That's that's fun. All right.
I hear Ada's got some new gear for you.
Oh, and last thing I will say too, if you're catching the rebroad stream, I hope it's still there. I hope for everyone's sake it's still there. But if you end up going on, if you have a Bungie account connected to your Destiny game, and you go on to Destiny 2 Team X profile, they did end up putting out a post that you can get access to codes to get exclusives to some special ornaments, as well as a sparrow, a ship, a ghost, and a shader. Actually, 2 sparrows for that record. That we can access them, as well as some just a kind of a thank you on their front of, hey, thank you guys so much for playing this game, and thank you guys so much for playing the Monument of Triumph. Now, the last thing before we end up going into the actual shooting range itself is, if we check out, right, if you look at my build here, right, I would say, I got that kind of like a tan, desert vibe going on right here, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, those green legs, they look kind of wonky. They don't fit right. Well, thanks to the wonderful people of Destiny, now legendary shaders can go on to our exotics. So let's see if we can clean them up real quick. Where's that? Let me get that desert style going on again. Just put some General Grievous legs on them. Nah. Yeah, I like that. I like that Turn of Vengeance. I like that Turn of Vengeance, right? Gets a little of the boot vibe going on. Right, gives that more of that kick power. Right, but anyways, without further ado, let's get on into the actual tower, because we got our hands on the brand new Hunter Aspect, Crack Shot, and now let's go test it out. And I gotta say, with Bino play yesterday a little bit on the Warlock, you don't know how strongly I was having to resist the temptation to jump onto the Hunter and not play it. Not play the Hunter. Because I wanted to give you guys my authentic reaction after seeing how the Crack Shot went, after seeing how all of them went, right? I had to pick one. I had to pick one to be able to log in and play the game, to do my part, being on June 10th, right? So I had to do my part, and so I picked the Warlock. So that's why I'm saying the Warlock for last, because it's not going to be a full authentic reaction, but it is going to be a reaction of some sorts. So without further ado, all right, let's put on some Cabal. And so, take a look at it, right? I went ahead and did some pre-planning, okay, about what I think would work on the actual Hunter. And what my thought is, hold up. Interesting. We may have found a bug. Maybe. Because I remember them saying, on your mark was going to give you restoration. But right now, it's still saying on your mark is going to give you cure. And knock him down was also supposed to give cure. Huh. You know what? Let's look into that real quick. My phone on the way. I'm putting the controller down for a second. And I'm currently pulling up the Bungie Destiny 2 news. See what they have done. Destiny 2 update 9.70. Scroll. I'm pretty sure they did the updates for the actual. I know you can't see it right now. You know what? Let me see if I can fix that real quick. Bear with me. right now, the text still says Final Blows at 10 sticks are going to cure you. So that's temporarily a bug right now. And then if we look at Knock 'em Down, it has no mention of cure whatsoever. So the question is then now, will it still actually give us cure? Okay, it gives us cure, not restoration. But I gotta say, that's actually pretty cool. That was cool. Okay, anyways, all right. Nonchalantly getting that out of the way. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. I had the opportunity of testing this the other day, testing Radiant Dance Machines with this setup, and man, but anyways, landing all 3 shots cures you, Scorching Pads. Okay, so this is probably gonna end up being one of those weekly things that comes into, right? This is probably going to be one of those things that Bungie comes in and has to go back and fix again, because they did say that On Your Mark was supposed to give restoration, but right now it's still only giving cure, and you guys saw the buff right there. Well, I say that. Let me take this off for a second to see, because I didn't see any restoration tab go up. Put on a solar. See how to get that cure at least. Okay, Final Blows, well, at 10 stacks gives you cure. Okay, and then dodging is supposed to give you max stacks cure. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing any... Yeah, it's all cure. There's no restoration going on right now. So, but, ask me this, there's a few things that Bungie has to come back in and fix. They even said that themselves. So, we'll just be patient on that. But that's all right. Because... cure still works for us anyways, and we can still put in a temporary workaround for that, because getting us Amber of Mercy is going to give us restoration, and defeating scorched targets will drop Fire Sprite. Fire Sprite gives restoration. So we still have that old way of giving us restoration, other than just using On Your Mark, which, again, it's all okay. All right, it is all a-okay. All right, there's going to be a lot of things that they had to fix. There's going to be a lot of things that they probably have to come in and fix. They still said they were hunting down all the last but few bugs. This is going to be one of the few things. I'm going to swap on Radiant for, though, instead of the grenade here. Because here the grenade doesn't actually fully matter with the idea. So, let's do Incendiary, right? We haven't used Incendiary before. But anyways, if you missed it. Alright, if you ended up missing it. Okay. The new Crack Shot ability, what it requires is for you to go, and we'll go where we have more targets, is to take that reticle there on the screen, and you will see targets are automatically starting to target, and if you dodge, it'll automatically pull them out for you. And check out the class ability. That thing's coming back pretty quick. Oh, yeah. Okay, and that was for... You know what? I also want to attribute that to probably Ember of Singeing, because Crack Shot is also inherently scorching targets. And this is all based on the class ability, and right now our class stat is at 175. So, yeah. But there's one important thing that I do want to test. So, 1, 2. Oh, wait. Okay, hang on. Maybe we did it wrong. I was worried about this. The one thing that I didn't want to see happen. Yes! Yes! It worked. Yes! It works. It works. Oh, this is gonna go so hard. This is gonna go so hard, man. If you didn't see it. Okay. So, the one thing I was wondering the entire time was because Crack Shot ends up overriding your class ability. So the thing I was wondering was, is it going to then trigger your class ability then? Right? And, because in which case, in this build, oh man, this is going to be so much fun. This is going to be a fun build right here. Let's refresh that. Running Combatant Wave. Oh, this is going to be awesome. Alright, boom, 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 boom. Reload. Get the full reload. Oh, this is gonna be good. This is so gonna be good. Because now we have that, and now we literally have that endless hunter refresh. Especially because we don't know what the catalyst is yet. Right? I'm so curious what the catalyst is going to be here. But yeah, if you didn't end up seeing that, right? If you need to catch on the rebroadcast, last word, getting that hip fire reaction going on with the radiant and dance machines. Final blows, primary air weapons return, dodge. And yes, the crack shot does actually use the class ability, which means we can reload and just keep on going. Oh, that makes me so happy. That makes me so happy. And then, because you know what? Why not? Why not? We're using Deadshot. Let's be the ultimate gunslinger. The only thing I hate is we don't have the actual cowboy hat. We don't have the cowboy hat. But you know what? It's all right. It's all right. There we go. There we go. Got the Desert Trooper on. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. This is going to be so much fun. All right, you know what? We're going to test this. We're going to change order real quick, and we're going to test this right now. All right, let's go ahead and upgrade our power real quick. And not worried about Lumen Open It tier. Because right now we can get our hands on that about any time. So right now, as I'm going through and updating my power, the focus of this build is yes, you want to just keep on going crazy and keep on getting final blows with your... I'll never use a shotgun anyways. Use your last word, right? Every other weapon in this build is optional, honestly, right? I just have on, just for solar damage, for the heal clip, and just honestly, heal clip incandescent to keep spreading Scorch. So if we ever, for some reason, run out, go through, start scorching targets. Yes, something with Burning Ambition might be better, in which case, I might be able to look for one real quick. Yes, I did redeem the new codes. Yep, I just didn't pick them up yet. I did that last time I was putting my daughter to bed. So, you know what? Those new codes might actually look pretty good with those. That new armor set might actually look pretty good with that sand drifter vibe we got going on right now. Ah, you're pulling my ADD. Anyways, that's all right. So, anyways, I was looking for a Burning Ambition weapon, primary weapon at that too. Oh, this is also one of the things that they introduced. If you haven't noticed it yet, they updated. It's a quality of life thing, which is honestly great update. Is that now when you get a weapon that has multiple perk rolls, it shows you what all those perk rolls are now. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't show you everything. It only shows you what's currently selected. But if you know your icons, you can still at least see what the additional rolls are. So, like right here, okay, I have Burning Ambition and Heal Clips. This is actually the one that I want to put on. Oh, thanks, man. Welcome to the channel. All right, so put on... Nah. I do want Burning Ambition, though, because that way I can continue to Scorch at absolute worst case. At absolute worst case. All right. But anyways, go on to the side hub. Pick up the... Amen to that. Amen to that. I don't know what glitch is going on right now. Yeah, maybe it's because it's not picking up the first. Maybe because it's not picking up the first one. All right, and tell me I don't go through my sparrows without telling me I don't go through my sparrows. I will have to check out the Sparrow Racing League here soon, because I know you can get some of the good armor through there. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. I'm testing out the vibes here. All right. Oh, yeah. That's right. Once you get him, you still have to go and unlock him. Oh, yeah, the entombment thing, too. So, yeah, Bungie apparently released this new thing that you can go through and attune what weapons you're trying to farm for. Should be on any location. So we'll check that out here in just a second, too. All right, so the attunement looks like this. It looks like distortions, world attunement. Ooh, very nice. Anyway, so and then we got solo ops. What can we from solo ops now? Oh, ooh, that's a glaive. That is a glaive right there. I did get a roll on that on my hunter yesterday. I'm going to keep that kind of private because, oh my gosh, it looked. I'll just say, we have a new version of Repulsor Brace. We have a new version of Repulsor Brace, and it's going to be nuts. I probably got it was the first drop too, and it was holy crap. We can get Aurora Dawn now. We get Aurora Dawn again. Awesome. Aurora Dawn is such a good sword. Such a good sword, because it gets cold steel. That's gonna be awesome. Pinnacle Ops, what can we get? Okay, I noticed it got nerfed, but they're finally giving us access to Mint Retrograde. They're finally giving us free access to Mint Retrograde. Pinnacle Ops attunement. You can attune for Mint Retrograde. If you have not gotten your hands on Mint Retrograde, this is the way to do it. And the Slammer. And the Slammer. Slammer can roll Eager Edge and Cold Steel. Great sword. Great sword. Salvage of Salvo. I've seen other people use that. No, that's good. Was on Fire Team. Arena Ops. Okay, looks like this is on the. I'm guessing this is on the Black Armory weapons. Unfortunately, Black Armory was like one of the earlier stuff that I didn't actually get to be a part of. I was on and off on Destiny because I think I was still in high school or college, so I was focused on other things at the time. But that looks pretty cool though. But I'm pretty sure this is the Black Armor weapon stuff. Anyways, Arena, Pinnacle Ops. Oh, it's just on Pinnacle Ops. Did I skip over it? Crucible, the one thing that I don't do because I've had enough. I used to play Overwatch, and yeah, I don't play PvP anymore. Looks like this is all the. Oh, here's Gambit. I will have to look it up then. Was that the Black Armory sword then? Was I right on that? There's my Gnawing Hunger. Bad Omens. Onslaught. You can get Fallen Guillotine here. And SRL, Sparrow Racing League. Alright, these are some of the new stuff you can get, I think. You can get it. Ooh, that's a pretty cool looking sword. I'll have to look at that up later, too. Alright, but those are all the things you're looking for. That you can tune for as far as weapons are concerned. What is this? I will definitely be looking up that sword then here in a little bit. I tried going on Light GG yesterday, but they're down. I think last time I looked at, they were down right now because they're working on updating their content. So once Light GG is back up and running, I will be checking out that sword very quickly. How do we get that again? I think it was Arena. Yeah, Arena. So yeah. Because that sword, aesthetically, that sword looks like it would go with Stronghold very well. Aesthetically. I don't have any in the night. It's Morning, Traveler. That's a beautiful shot right there. We're going to do something real quick. Real quick. By the way, just a kind of a side note, if you ever want to get like if there's ever a cool shot, a good way to like get a picture of it, how I get some of my pictures, is you turn your HUD off and it's a clear shot. Actually, I don't like that spot right there. I'm gonna go right here. There we go. There we go. Honestly, that's a big good spot for the lo-fi channel here soon. Wow. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that sword then. Sorry, I'm just not reading your comment. Alright, but anyways. Enough horsing around. No. Alright. We're actually going to go through and check out some of the new distortion zones. And right here, it looks like the distortion. So, new thing about the distortion is it sounds like a good way to farm some of the equipment, some of the armor sets for some of the new stuff that were in kind of their Bungie's new way to get people to go back to planet roaming. Is that distortions are going to be a higher, stronger, and content where you can get higher tiered gear, from my understanding of it. And I ran through one yesterday, and yeah, my Warlock is my strongest class right now as far as power level. But yeah, they hit, and they hit hard. But the good news is it seems like a lot of people are trying to farm these distortions right now anyways. So, oh wait, ooh, look at that. Just look at that. That looks cool. Oh, and it goes all the way around. Man, that looks awesome. Alright, but I gotta turn my HUD back on, otherwise I'm gonna get killed. Alright, anyways. Did marker turn off? Oh, it changed. That's fine. Alright, so how's the audio check on y'all's side? Because I can't hear, for some reason I can't hear it on my side. And I know sometimes the audio can overpower my mic, which I'm turning on the audio right now for the game. If you don't mind. Ooh, Gunsmith Engram. Got a restoration right there. Got two-shot them. Okay, where is the actual... Okay, thanks. Okay. It's on the other side. It's not this one, it's the other one. Probably where everyone's going to right now. Don't you think? Okay. Alright, it's here, so where is it? I think we're all starting to wonder that same question. Oh, starts in 3 minutes. Okay. Alright, that's fine. You know what? In the meantime, let's go clear Lost Sector then. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Is that right there? It is right there. Okay, cool. Let's go clear Lost Sector. Because why not? I don't want to stand around for 3 minutes. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's the one that... Yeah. That's not it. Is it behind? Is the one behind the wall? It's the one behind the wall. There it is. Over the hole. I haven't done a Lost Sector like this in a long time, man. I remember Grandmaster Lost Sector used with a thing back in the day to like really test your metal. And then they put in the dreaded portal. Ooh, and the Lost Sectors get the distortions. The Lost Sectors get the distortion. That is awesome. Get the reload. Is that a distorted planetary item? It is. Strange matter. Ooh, okay. Gotta look into that, see what that is. Alright, and keep it rolling. And the good news is, too, about this... The one thing I do want to mention about this new aspect being on dealing damage based on the class ability is that if your class stat is over the 100, you're not only getting Cure, but you're getting that Overshield now, too. And that makes that Overshield actually more prominent. So it's actually a good, you know, like you may have seen a couple times there, it's actually a good lifesaver to run there. But the idea behind, once they actually fix this, once they end up actually fixing the on your mark to give restoration, the idea behind it is that you can use on your mark, get your... Oh, I like full choke stopped a wyvern there too. That's powerful. Anyway, so I can stop squirreling for a second. The idea behind it is to get on your mark to trigger full restoration, and then Ember Empyrean will bring out Scorp. Defeating targets with solar abilities will extend restoration. That way it will continue on the massive restoration. Hopefully you guys can kind of see the idea I'm going at. Hey, that did a lot of damage right there. Get that Overshield up and that Cure. The good news, especially with this, like I said, with this build being over 100, like the stat being way over 100, is you're getting good Overshield on demand. And just like that, I think by this point the... Yep, I think by this point the... what's it called? Public event should be good and clear to go. Hey, don't forget your chest. Don't forget your chest. Where'd chest go? There it is, over there. Alright, so let's see what distorted lock sector drops on. Ooh, we got tier 3 gear. Into the... Dang it. Into the Postmaster. We'll have to check that out later. You know, let's go ahead and actually, in case we get it in others, let's go ahead and clear out some of this stuff. We have some room to play with. There we go. All right, so we're going to head on out to the front, or back into the event, to see what can we do as far as the distortion goes. I'm just taking a long way, buy some time. I seriously think the only thing that I wish was better in this build was the fact that I think for the ornaments are that I had a cowboy hat. Because with the last word and with Crackshot, like it would have been great. There we go. Keep on climbing up. Alright, and Yep! It's live. Distortion breach is live. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Alright, so where is the distortion breach then? Maybe over there? This is one of the things that I'm still, like, trying to navigate, is this stuff right here. No, this is one of those missions. You can tell because they don't have the icon on them. I'm invisible now. Oh, you know what? I think someone used a smoke bomb. There it is. Jeez, can you tell where it is now? Okay, yeah, that, Yep, I knew they hit hard. Okay, we're just fighting waves. Nice. Perfect. Destroy the corruptions. Okay. Alright, so what are the corruptions then? We got a super font. Okay, here's the corruptions. Ah, okay. So the corruptions is what dropped the fonts. Interesting. And there's the third one. Alright, so keep on taking out waves. Let's go into super. Oh, that's good to know. You can still use the super. Okay, yes. That's one of the things that they updated this patch was they toned down how much of the super regen you'll get from the Deadshot, so you can't just keep running it infinitely. But I will say though, this has some serious ad clear. That's for sure. Alright, and that's where we're going to pull out the Burning Ambition. Just for times like these. Because also, the other good news is too, the fact of using this weapon right here is that it's still primer, so it would still get the okay, did we run? I was paying attention. Did we run out of time, or did we actually clear the event? There's a chest, so I'm guessing we cleared it. Or did something. Okay, so now we have to get some strange matter. Nice. So what about this gun? What does it do now? Final blows on tougher combatants create insectoid robots that chase combatants and explode. That, oh my goodness. So that literally sounds like, oh goodness, I don't know, I can't, the Colony. That literally sounds like the Colony. Where'd it go? Where's the colony at? There it is. The colony. Insectoid robot grenades. This weapon creates the weapon. This weapon's grenades are insectoid robots that chase targets and explode close to them. Consumes tougher. Yeah. It's wow. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, definitely see a insectoid robot build possibly coming. All right, so any other distortions going on? There's a distortion public event here. That starts in 20 seconds. Let's see if we can make it. We can make that. We can make it if I actually get up the ramp. And I actually go the right way, right? I will say this is probably the last thing we test for the Hunter before we move on to Titan, because I did want to test that out as well. Get that incendiary grenade going on. There we go. That's what we can do with the tough targets. I will say ad clear. This thing does very well for ad clear purposes. For raw DPS, no. Not that I have found anyways. Okay, so we're having to destroy corruptions right now, which I don't think anyone's paying attention to. Because we got 1 out of 3 down. Where are the others at? There's one. I'm gonna pull up my Sparrow. There's 2 down. Defeat the distorted sublimator and end the breach. We got 40 seconds to take this guy out. Come on. Come on. Primary's supposed to deal more damage. No, you're not getting your shield back up. There we go. Got the KO right then. Hey! Alright, now we actually had a good piece of the gear. And I know we got arm piece too. Okay, so... Yes! Okay, awesome. I was hoping for some sort of Frost Armor stasis set from Europa. Alright, so what the Cryosthesia Vest does. Okay, 2-piece. After being out of combat for a moderate duration, your next final blow grants additional ammo progress and creates an orb of power. After being out of combat for a moderate duration, slowly gain frost armor until you re-enter combat. Oh my gosh. Okay. I already have an idea. If I can get 4 pieces of this for my Titan, what this is going to do. Because this is going to give us an Orb of Power. If we get 4 sets, this is going to give us an Orb of Power and Frost Armor. And remember, Frost Armor's been updated too, that we can get, we get 1 less stack, but 5 stacks gives us 35% damage resistance now, as opposed to 31%. And going into the actual if we get the full stasis subclass going on, then we can get the, oh, what's it called? 50% damage resistance going on. Man, this is good. More build crafting. All right, but as promised, though, okay, that was going to be the last thing they do as far as the hunter goes. So if you're just tuning in for the live stream and you missed out, hey, whoa, I'm here for the hunter. It's okay. We'll be spending more time. Someone's got the same idea. Oh no, that's the void one. Anyways, it's okay. I promise you, we'll have more hunter fun shenanigans, especially because I'm looking to make a hunter build here soon, probably based off of this. But we are going to go ahead and change characters on to the Titan. Also because I have to change the emblem. Let's go and update that emblem. And as you know, Titans ended up getting a new aspect as well called the, I want to say it's a Shield Crush. Not out of space? What do you mean not out of space? I have too many. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now let's try this again. Because we need to update the Titan. We have to update the Titan. We have to. We just have to. We're putting on the old lights. Toast to the monument. That's awesome. But we're still putting on the old lights because it's still, people say it's probably one of the biggest flexes that anybody can do, and anybody, because, you know, oh, I was here since the Red War. Okay. But anyways, no. So Titans did end up getting a new aspect called the Shield Crush. Okay. And if you did not get a chance to see what that does, okay, just kind of a preview here. And all right, good. It is 3. Okay, solar. So enhance your barricade, your equip barricade with solar capabilities. And Tyrant Barricade, your barricade slides forward across the ground before stopping, allowing you to advance to safety. Or your Rally Barricade, standing behind your barricade, grants scorching rounds to your allies. Solar and kinetic weapons. I totally forgot I had a cup of coffee sitting here next to me, but now it is cold, so we'll just call it pseudo iced coffee. And I just spilled the coffee on myself. All right. So before we get into the Titan, I'll be right back. I just spilled coffee on myself and I had to clean myself up. So be right back. All right. I am back. I cleaned myself up. So, yeah, that was fun. But if you're just now tuning in for the live stream, what we're going to be doing right now, we just got done spending some time checking out the new things at the Hunter head, or sort for the Hunter as far as the crack shot ability is concerned. But now we are switched over to our Titan, and we are going to go check out what the new Shield Crush ability has in store for us. So if you're just now tuning in and you are like, awesome, I'm so excited for the new aspects and abilities, but where do I get them? Well, if you are a new light, then you're going to go, then you should already have an idea of where to go. It's the exact same place. But if you are an old Red War veteran like me and you have never deleted your account, you've just been rocking and rolling ever since, then you're going to have to go through kind of the new light experience, and you're going to have to travel to Ikora. Okay, now, once you end up getting to Ikora, if this is your first time logging in, I definitely encourage you guys to go through the actual steps of the Monument of Triumph quest steps, going in, getting yourselves to Legendary Mars, exploring the tower a bit. But once you're done exploring and you're ready to move on into the game, go to Ikora, approach, and she will end up bringing a dialogue, kind of setting up why all of a sudden we switched from fighting the Nine, pursuing the prophecy, trying to bind the Nine, all of a sudden, boom, we stopped. Right? They did come up with a kind of like a sub-in story of how to do that, but I will let you guys experience that on your own. They only do it once, so don't skip through it. But otherwise, go to Ikora. For the Titans, you're going to go, Titans and Hunters, you're actually going to go to Solar and go to Aspects. And here you're going to see your brand new Aspects, the Shield Burst. You're going to acquire it. Accept. And yes, you will have to meditate to get access to the Shield Burst. And now we have it. So we can actually go in and go on in. And now you can see it is unlocked, and we can equip the Shield Burst. So without further ado, and again, while you have Barricade deployed, the new thing of why Arbor Warden is going to go off the chain, and I've already seen people testing this, which is already absolutely crazy. I saw some videos last night before I went to bed. Arbor Warden, or actually what the Shield Burst is going to allow you to do, is while Barricade is deployed, you can activate your class ability again to remotely detonate it, scorching combatants caught in the detonation. Dealing damage increases the power of the blast. And this ability's damage increases with your class stat when your class stat is 100 or higher. Okay, so what this all is going to, what this is going to allow us to do, and we are also going to pair this up with the reworked Hallowfire Heart. While you have a Solar Super, while your Solar Super is charged, ability Final Blows are going to cure you and give you stacks of Sunfire Furnace. Okay, while Sunfire Furnace is active, Grenade and Shield Burst Final Blows trigger an ignition. Each stack increases Grenade regeneration, Class Ability regeneration, and Super damage. Okay, so importantly, okay, Sunfire Furnace active, Grenade and Shield Burst Final Blows are going to ignite. Okay, and then while you have Sunfire Furnace stacks, your Grenade regeneration, Class Ability regeneration, and Super Jam damage. So point being, right, enough reading. Let's actually go in and test this out. I'm going to slap this on real quick. And let's get into the shooting range. All right, now that we are in this shooting range, let's go ahead and take a look at what this Shield Burst new class ability can do. So we are, you know what? Let's change it up. Let's start with the Rally Barricade. Okay, so dropping the Rally Barricade. You see now it is red, and we have Scorching Rounds. And I am pairing this up with the Tommy's Matchbook because this is going to cause so much mayhem as far as scorching, as green double stacks of Scorch. And wow, that goes far. Please tell me someone else saw that. Like, goodness gracious, that thing. Okay, so we were at the 10-meter mark, and that went all the way 60 meters, 50, 60 meters. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. That will nuke the field. That will nuke the field. All right. And let's see. Okay. And sending a sunspot. Just class it back even faster. And gives restoration. Goodness. All right. Well, I will say this, that this build, like, Shield Burst already, and paired with Tommy's Matchbook, already, like, decimates the field. But taking a look at the subclass that we have right now, where we're using Ember Resolve, because we didn't even utilize the grenade yet. That was solely on Shield Burst, which we're probably gonna have to get into some live content to fully test out the capabilities of this build, because I can tell based off of Shield Burst with Tommy's Matchbook, this is going to be very destructive, very fast. But Ember Resolves can give us Cure on grenade final blows, which right now we're using the Fusion Grenade because one of the shortest cooldowns in the game, or for the Solar Titan at least. Ember Empyrean to increase Restoration and Radiant effects. We don't have a Radiant effects, but we might put something on to fix that. Ember of Singeing, Scorching targets, gives a class ability recharge faster, which since it's a barricade focused build, we want that class ability to come back fast. Ember of Char, Solar Ignition, spread Scorch to affected targets, and we're putting this on instead of Ember of Charge, which we might be putting on. We might sub out Ember Blisting for Ember of Char. We'll see. But Ember of Char, not Ember of Char. Wow, what was it? Ember of Ashes. Thank you. Ember of Char is going to spread Scorch for munitions, and defeating targets with Solar Ignition are going to grant grenade energy. But I don't think we're actually going to fully need this. We might go ahead and put on the Ember of Ashes to apply more Scorch stacks to everybody. That way we can, because it's only been a few times that we have this ignition. But while your Solar Super is charged. Oh, I really forgot about this too. Or I forgot to say this earlier in the live stream as well. What Bungie did when they reworked all the exotics to have tier 5 stats, the other thing that they introduced was that every exotic, the emptying tuning mod socket, thus having tier 5 properties, but with only exclusively to the exotics, you can see you have any perk combination that you want. +5 to one stat, -5 to the other. So if there's not a stat you're really worried about, like for example, we're not worried about health, then we want to have, let's say, increase weapon or increase class minus health. Now, with our super only being at 8, let's see what we can do with the setup. First off, the grenade. What's our grenade having? 107. All right. And then, all right. Oh, good. And that gives us class ability energy too. Nice. Very nice. All right, let's actually put this in some live content because we can only do so much in the shooting range to test this out. Besides, what's better than a live test, right? And right now, our distortions are on Nessus. That's exactly where we're going to go. Event active. We'll aim for this one. Oh, there's one right here next to it. Cool. No change into world tier for all the other old planets except for Kepler. So no worries there. But I think distortions is kind of their way of doing it anyways. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to put put up the Be Right Back screen real quick because I got to fix something on my end. All right, and we are back, and bit of a load again. Hello distortion right above our head. But anyways, let's go ahead and fall to our death. Oh, practically fall to our death. And public event starts in 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Let's chill here for 3 minutes. See if we can get this build feeling underway. All right. Let's see. Is there a lost sector near us this time? There is a lost sector at this time. All right, all right, all right. So and let's go ahead and get some of this loot. Let's see. Do we have any open? We need to open up some space here. Because the hope is that we are actually going to get some of the new Nessus gear and see what does that offer us. Ooh, new weapon. Pyroclastic flow. That is a cool looking rocket launcher. And it's got bait and switch. And heel clip. We're just going to go ahead and put this on. We're going to put that on. Because you know what? It's solar. And it works. It's bait and switch. Increases next projectile blast radius and damage. Increases the stat count limit. We'll see. Increase the blast radius. I don't think we need to put on heel clip. Blast radius is increased when surrounded by combatants. While active, the weapon deals significantly less damage to the wielder. Interesting. Oh, we're keeping this on. Whoa. Okay, that's good to know. Is that standing in that distortion field causes you damage? Interesting. All right, I think I did take off the Ember of... No, Ember Resolve is still on. Why did I care? It's weird. And we have opening act. Do I have more Thriving Survivor gear? Because I'm not going to lie, it would be probably best. Nope, it's alright. Focus on the stats today. I guess. Yeah, I'm the only one. It's alright. It's all good. It's all good. Alright, so we have that super stat full. So now, once this public event starts, we're going to start getting stacks of Sunfire Furnace ability from our ability Final Blows, which is also going to be from our, and then while Sunfire Furnace stacked with Grenade and Shield Burst Final Blows are going to trigger Ignition, and each stack increases. So the first thing we want is that super full. All right, so we don't actually want to use this super, ideally. Instead, having this super full is going to give us so many different benefits to play around with. All right, but once this patrol starts, can I jump up here? I can jump up here. And boop.
in here and dig, do you?
What will stop them, I wonder?
Gotta wait for some enemies to get here. Alright, someone's jolting Tarkus already. Nice. Bit of a pushback there. That's good to know. All right. So, just waiting to override the laser. Where are those drop pods at? They're over there. Let's do it! Ah! Oh, I think it's got to be tested in solo content, to be honest. I genuinely think it's going to be tested in solo content. Alright, so we got the Sunfire Furnace up. And class ability is back. Nice. And just put in the Scorch on him and hit the wave. I think they may have just done a good chunk of damage. Not gonna lie, because it didn't look like it, because I didn't get a chance to see his health bar, but... Oh. Alright, so the question is, though, where's the distortion at? Oh, Exodus down helmet. Nice. Alright, what does it do? What does it do? When your shields become broken, collect all nearby orbs of power and ammo bricks. And then 4P set is when you gain, lose, or spend ammo charge, heal, and gain damage reduction for a short time. Oh my gosh. I already know. This is the effect scales of the amount of armor charge gained, lost, or spent. Goodness gracious. You know, oh my goodness. We need 4 sets of this gear. We need 4 sets of this gear. Because I could already tell that this is going to be a very interesting combination with ACD feedback. Because ACD feedback, every single melee hit is going to give you armor charge. And so if you're constantly spending armor charge, you're constantly going to be healing yourself. This is... Oh, Destiny, what have you brought to this game, man? What have you brought? Whatever you did, you were cooking. You were absolutely cooking with this. I see someone's Solar Warlock today. Whoop! Suicide. Oh, sorry, can't say that word on stream. Self-deletion. And pop the shield. Hey, look, a loot box. Hey, look, another loot box. Trophy Hunter. Interesting. Alright. And we got to destroy the corruption. Where's the corruption at? Okay. Someone got the corruption. Nice. Get those scorching. That's a really good, like pushback right there. That's fun. Oh, that is solid right there. And all right, so it's gonna have to do. So okay, so thing about that is we might have to let that charge up a bit before we actually get into that. Grenade. We are 3 stacks Sunfire Furnace, which means our ability generation should be pretty good. Yeah, it's just slowly climbing. Looking for corruptions again. Not anywhere here. Oh, yeah, someone got the corruption. Oh, we're at 4 stacks Sunfire Furnace. Alright, guess we're working on the final guy then. And just like that. Just like that. This is a very slow super drain. Good to know. Ooh. What is this? Extra dimensional signal beckons from a distorted dimension. The approximate location is marked on your map. What is this? This is exotic too. An extra dimensional signal. The approximate location. Well, we're gonna go see what this is then. Right? We were gonna continue trying to test out the capabilities of the Solar Titan now, thanks to the updates. Right now, we did. If you were watching that battle real quick, like one thing to note is that there is a very big knockback. If you're on the front side of that shield, there is a very big knockback on that shield burst. Right? It pushed you across the map. Like I would probably say that'd be a very good movement tech. That'd probably be a very good movement tech. Set up a shield burst before you go into the Eager Edge Sword, like to horizontally push you across the map. Very decent move tech right there. But what we're doing right now though is we got a strange icon. And there's the distortion icon. Wait, and it was an exotic too, so let's see what this is. Receive reward. What do we get? Oh my gosh. Sometimes I wonder if I have dyslexia or something because I totally just read that gun as diabetes. We got the diabetes strand machine gun. Diablerus. Might as well be diabetes. With substance, meganium. I can't read today. Elemental explosion based on proficient final blows. And moving target. Interesting. Very interesting. We also got some more strange matter. Very, very interesting. Anyways. Alright, so far, that is what this build is capable of. Now, here's the thing though. As promised, there's one last thing that we're going to go over before we ended up just roaming around and having fun, right? There's a couple things that I put a post out, and if you're new to this channel, or if you haven't interacted with this channel before, the biggest way that I interact, because I am a solo gamer dad. There's not a lot of time that I actually spend with my rig setup, with my computer. And I'm not making shorts all the time, not making videos all the time. I can put out maybe one video a week, right? But the biggest way that I interact and then I stay continually talking is through those posts. If you like to see this channel, if you enjoy this channel, keep an eye on those posts, right? I put out on them irregularly, right? Not at a constant rate. But a couple things that I said I was going to post. I was going to go over first impressions, walking in the tower. some tower updates we've done, hunter updates which we did, and first reactions. We got some good first reactions out of that hunter. That was hilarious. That was fun. So Titan updates, we just did that. Warlock updates is next, artifact updates, and then possibly some exotic updates. So, gone through the Titan updates, and then, did we get another one of those guns? Or the same one? Maybe it's the same one. Anyways, I'm squirreling. Oh, we have another one. Oh, that was the. Oh, here we go. Origin trait for Nessus. Dealing damage grants an improved stacking bonus to magazine size. Target acquisition range until your next final blow with his weapon. And then this focus, sustained fire increases accuracy and range by an improvement amount, increases lunges restores. Interesting. And we have jolting feedback and trickle charge. We have the combo for Arc. This is crazy what they brought to this game for this final update. This is absolutely insane, I will say. Insect Sword robots. Very nice. But anyways, all that to say though, right? Where build crafting is going to go off the chain. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Yesterday when I was doing a preview, when I was doing a self preview for this, just to kind of get my bearings so I know where to kind of help guide those who are watching this live stream. When I dove into everything, especially the artifact portions of what this build, of what Monument of Triumph now offers, I myself got overwhelmed, right? 7 different artifacts to play with, right? Some, all with varying degrees of elements. Now, I will say this, kind of a sneak preview. We got Tablet of Ruin back. And so if you know a certain build with Abyssal Edge and Stronghold, we have it back. Because, and yes, we have Horde Shuttle and we have Unraveling Orbs. The cheesy Stronghold Strand build, or Strand Arc build, is back. So, we about to have some fun here soon. But, let's go ahead and kind of get out of here for a second. Get out of the planet. Just because I don't want to keep on getting shot while I'm trying to go over the artifacts. But, a couple things to keep in mind, though, about our artifacts, right? Just kind of how to navigate them, right? Is the whole artifact setup has now changed, right? Bungie ended up telling us about this earlier. The whole setup is going to change. We're not going to have any of the champion mons anymore. And now it's going to go into a selection process. So, excuse me. How we're going to navigate this, right? How you end up navigating the artifact. Okay, 1. You see up here at the top, we have a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 slots. Okay? Think of this kind of like your rows, right? Where you had row 1 and then row 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, so on and so forth. Okay? Your tier 3 was all your row 5 stuff. Your tier 2 was your middle row stuff, and your tier 1 was your, I would argue, probably your second row, where you had your actual first ability updates, right? But how you can navigate this, right? If you, as you see, if you scroll through your tier 1 slot, you only get access to 1 row. In tier 2, you get access to 2 rows. But if you look, it's not, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not 14 different options. If you look at the first row, you have all your tier 1 upgrades. Meaning, and the same thing for tier 3. You have all your tier 3, all your tier 2, and all your tier 1 upgrades. So what does this mean? Now with the new updates to how the artifacts work, now if I want to say say there was 3, since I only have 2 slots for my tier 1, and say there was 3 different ones I wanted to plug in. Well, now I can take one of the tier 1 slots. So let's say I just want to put in like Fever and Chill and Kindling, but now I also want to put in like Heart of the Flame. Well, now you can get those 3 tier slots, and I can still put in my tier 3 slots into the artifact. So, what all this means, how this all just been reworked, is you can basically put in any combination of any of the artifacts that you want. Okay, but for this build, since this build is a solar focused build with class ability and weapon and grenade, take a look at the couple different artifacts we have available to us. And so far, I see 2, maybe 3 artifacts that are good with solar. You see the icons right there. They tell us now. So let's actually take a look at the Queen's Foil. So for the tier 3, we have To Shreds. This deals with Strand. No, thank you. This deals with Stasis. No, thank you. Firing. Okay, we have a rocket launcher on. Firing rocket launcher consumes 1 stack of armor charge, granting increased damage and reload speed until you reload or stow your rocket launcher. All right, increased damage and reload speed. That might be good to know. While you're the only member of your fire team, precision weapon final blows increase weapon damage until you're defeated. This is the great one for solo players like me. I might be using this a lot. We'll see. While radiant solar precision final blows cause combatants to ignite, if I can ever talk. Hail of Storms deals with stasis. Horde Shuttle deals with Strand. Unraveling Orb Strand, Pillars of Ice, Stasis, Revitalizing Blast. Stunning a champion causes it to ignite and clears your shield stun. Anti-champion Nosecomb deals increased damage to champions. This deals with stasis. A lot of rocket launcher stuff. Rapid final blows with non-exotic rocket launchers refund ammo and increased reload speed for short duration. Blast radius. Oh, grants armor charge. We might be making a rocket build. We might make a rocket launcher build. We'll see. While Radiant deals increased weapon damage to combatants affected by standard traces. Rapid precision hits solo weapons. So, possibly, Queen's Foil has a lot of good stuff on it, especially the fact that we're dealing a rocket launcher in this build. Rocket and grenade launchers, actually. Now, let's see what the other solar one has for us. Bows give armor charge. Iron Lords wield sword takes decreased damage. And rapid final blows grant ammo. Okay, that might be good, but actually, Forbidden Praxic Blade. We'll see. Keep it rolling. Frigid Glare. Tangle Web. Elemental Overdrive. Pick up an elemental pickup or tangle. Grants increased damage to wielders of the same element. Shield Crush. Faster grenade when we have Radiant. Dealing sustained weapon damage while Radiant we're defeating scorched combatants with a weapon cause the target to release solar projectile. We're putting Radiant Shrapnel back on. We're going to put Shield Crush on. Alright, sustained damage to micro missiles. Okay, nope. That fresh smell bullet is picking up an ammo brick, gives you kinetic weapon increased damage. Nope. Coalescence, increased or defeating targets that has chance to create element pickup. Maybe. Because we do have Fire Sprite pickups in this build. Let's see, anything for solar. Stasis or Strand debuff non-boss combatants take increased solar damage. Storing a tangle. Not so much there. Let's take a look at the first row just so we can see what we fill in. Fever and Chill. Rapid precision hits slow weapons grant Radiant. Might be a good way to... Grading allies grants class ability energy. Good to know. Frost Renewal. Nope. Horde Shuttle. No. Refresh Threads. No. Pack Tactics. Semi-auto Striker. Okay, so that's kind of my thought. Is that I think I was taking a look at these yesterday as well, and I noticed that there's not a lot of overwhelmingly solar for this. So let's take a look at this one last one that has solar icon on it. Arc or Prismatic. Let's see. Sniper rifles. You can increase grenade and melee damage while Transcendent Prismatic. Shield Crush. We already know what that does. Expanding Abyss. We'll have Armor Charge and Prismatic. Not as much solar here either. Blade Stamina, Void Radiant Orbs. While you have Solar Prismatic subclass, Pick and Orb Power makes you Radiant. That's good to know. That'll pair with Shield Crush. Your ignitions do increase damage and increase radius. It's also good to know. Auto Rifle equipped combatants reload. Defeating combatants reloads your equipped weapon and temporarily increases weapon damage. Interesting. So I wonder if that actually helps us then if we just have an auto rifle, period. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, Oh, I just blanked there for a second. Tommy's matchbook is an auto rifle. This might be the way we're going. All right, so let's go and put on what we're doing. So we got... Nope, not that one. That was... Nope, Shield Crush. There we go, Shield Crush. Okay. We'll leave that space open for now because it might be others we want to put on. Auto rifle equip. Defeating combatants reloads your equipped weapon and temporarily increases weapon damage. This is going to give us a boost to Tommy's matchbook. Award bonuses when dealing final blows while surrounded. All right, so let's go and put on target there. Solar Fulmination. Because we are focused on ignitions as well. And picking Orange of Power gives us Radiant. All right, final blows, the kinetic weapon or weapon matching your equipped super creates an elemental pickup. This might be good to know. Small R resistance, creeping chill, press C advantage, threaded blast, solar sniper rifle precision hit scores targets. Continuous damage combatants or healing allies when the auto rifle grants you damage resistance. Okay, so sustained fire can go here, elemental siphon can go here, and we have one more open slot for anything. For anything at all. Might be doing counter energy, honestly, because now stunning champions is all the more easier, and this is probably one of the, as far as solar goes, it's probably one of the best ones that I've seen out of the artifacts that we have, because again, looking over all the artifacts, it doesn't really give us much play with for solar, right? But not that I've seen. However, I would say let's go and put on counter energy. We're not going to use it much, except we're in higher end content, which again, if you want to be running higher end content with champions, absolutely go for it. Right? This is just kind of exploring the game right now. But I think this is a good setup. When we are Radiant, our grenade's going to recharge faster and deal increased damage. That's going to be a grenade boost as well as our recharge rate. Target acquisition, since we're using our Tommy's matchbook so much in this build, defeating a bastard is going to reload Tommy's matchbook and temporarily increase weapon damage. Ignitions do increase damage since we're focusing on igniting targets thanks to Hearthfire. Radiant Orbs, whenever we pick up an Orb of Power, we're going to get Radiant. Causing damage and healing allies with an auto rifle grants us damage resistance, and then defeating targets with Tommy's matchbook is going to create an elemental pickup. And in this build, do we have anything to take advantage of elemental pickups? No, we do not, but that's okay. We can fix that easily. How? How is the question? What do we want to do? Okay, give us restoration. There's also defeating torch targets grants melee energy. It actually gives us plus 10 in class as well. That's good to know. But fire sprites naturally, though, are going to give us grenade energy in general. So as we're creating this fire sprites, we're going to get our grenade back relatively quickly. Also thanks to the buff. So could we actually change out our grenade then? No, let's keep fusion grenade on. All right, so that's something to keep in mind, right? If you are to help narrow down the focus of what you're going to be doing with the artifacts, right? To help narrow it down, look at the elements that you're going to be using, right? Look at the subclass that you're going to be playing with, okay? If you're going to be playing solar, look for the ones that have solar, right? Pick whichever one works best for you, right? Implement of Curiosity, right? Our artifact from Edge of Fate, right? We all loved Radiant Shrapnel. But the thing with it, though, was in this build, there isn't much else to work with to fill out the artifact for solar. So that's why we're going with the Hunter's Journal. So, all that to say, right? Play around with it. The builds in these videos upcoming we will be definitely going over the artifact now. I will be getting back in the rotation of that. So that way since we have so many different play options with the artifact. But all that to say, right? Let's get into, I think that's the last thing I wanted to go over. You know, we'll do one more mission with the actual, with the artifact now equipped. And we're going to then switch over to the Warlock before we call it a day, because and I might be calling it a day here soon. Mute him in mic for just a second. Okay, I'm back. Quick mute. It is quick mute. The main rule on this channel is that I will gladly go live whenever I can, but I will only be on live in the early mornings as far as for my time zone is concerned, and I will only stay live so far as my daughter is asleep. Once my daughter wakes up, I do get off the live, so that's why there's a lot of, like, in the past there's been some abrupt change. What did I just witness? That is awesome. There's a lot of abrupt endings sometimes on my channel because my daughter ends up waking up and I have to go I will tend to her, okay, as opposed to continue to stay on live, which is okay. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and check out a solo ops. Let's do K1 Logistics, right? Just see what it's like. Go on to that ultimate tier. Oh, and if you weren't here early, whenever I was explaining this, if you end up going to the solo ops now it's official. Now it's actually accurate that the solo ops will only display one type of champion, which is what you experience in the solo ops. Anyways, before it used to display two types of champions, but now there's only one. So there is that. And I do want to check something real quick before we actually get into it. There we go. Okay. Had to put something on real quick. All right, without further ado, though, also keep in mind too that all the apps have been updated to now, instead of the rewards being based off of feats and what you put on. Sorry, I thought I'd share my daughter for a second. Nope, I did. There's a possibility I might be ending this live stream here soon. Just I think I started hearing her start to wake up. But all that to say, rewards have been updated based off of feats, or based off of level of difficulty as opposed to feats. So let's see if we get this done before my daughter wakes up. Because like I said, once she wakes up, I do go ahead and get off the live stream just because I'm not comfortable being on a live stream with her on it. And I don't think we're going to make it far because I see her moving. All right, let's get the live stream. Not live stream. Let's get the solo op done.
Relatively simple assignment, this. I hope you won't be bored. Just the opposite, Devrim. After dealing with the
All right.
time travel and
So when I'm running this solo up, I always run around this side right here. And just kind of take him out and go. You know what? I don't think the health meter is what it used to be. We are radiant though, which is nice. Alright, so only issue right now is that I did not pack any anti-barrier stuff. Of which I'm going to have to peel out for a second to change out my loadout. Do I have any anti-barrier? I don't even have any anti-barrier on except for my heavy, which I don't want to continue to use, so I'm out of it. So that means... And they took away the ability to go radiant to cause damage to anti-barriers, which is another thing I have to get used to. That did nothing. Here's my restoration. I wonder where it went. So I'm starting to think with the build like this, you might have to up our super stat some as opposed to just focusing on class stat, because our super is taking forever today to come back. So let's see what we can do to fix that real quick before we actually dive too much into it. And I'm already taking damage. This is not the right place to do any of this, but we might have to here soon anyway, since we do have a couple barrier champions up. I think 1 or 2, which we have exactly 2 shots. Let's see what we can do. They did say, though, too, that the super regeneration rate was going to be going down. So they did nerf that, ironically, as one of the final things they did. Give us that restoration, that cure. And give us that barricade. Alright, let's deal more damage on this guy first. Yep. Yeah, I saw that coming. It ain't gonna work. Alright, so let me do something real quick. Gotta close my mic for a second. I had to go on to my Titan. Add something that has anti-barrier. Oh, goodness. Can I access my vault right now? Yes, I can. Okay. I'm used to having to go on the phone to get it. Alright. What can we pull that has anti-barrier? That's good anti-barrier. Alright, we'll put on Nameless Midnight. Gives that anti-barrier capabilities. And, okay, now we can actually go at it. That's a scout rifle. Break the shield, break the shield, break the shield, break the shield. Oh my goodness, this is not going like I thought it would. This is definitely not going like I thought it would. I don't know why. You know why? Because it's sticking ogre. Yep, there it goes. Okay. Well. There's an honest reaction right there. Gotta be humbled sometimes, right, though, right? Okay. So. Hey, you know what? It's alright. Nobody wins all the time. Couple mistakes were there. A couple things were evaluated, that's for sure. One thing for certain, though. Do need to, especially in this build, I would argue, need more super stat. for sure. So, with that, let's see, we can put on here. That's a better super stat. That's an okay weapon stat, but we're going to get weapon. Hey, but you know what? That's okay, though, because thanks to the artifact now, right? Defeating combatants, reloads, or equipped, and defeating combatants, the auto rifle is going to give us more damage. And then continuous damage is going to give us damage resistance with the auto rifles. So, kind of getting a better setup here. He looks like Dookie. Don't worry, we're going to fix it. Actually, doesn't look that bad, honestly. Maybe if we put a single solid color on him. Didn't look that bad. Didn't look that bad at all. Better yet, let's put... we'll see. Any Titan mains in the chat today? What kind of what kind of drip y'all be running? He looks solid. Get the Darth Vader pants on. These are the new ones that we got. Oh, you know what? I don't have the helmet. I don't have the skull helmet. But honestly, if we had that skull helmet, we could make a Ghost Rider setup here. Not gonna lie, that looks pretty fun to look at. Do I have Super Black yet? I do have Super Black. The clicking you hear in the background is me clicking the baby monitor. It's just keeping tabs on my daughter. Alright, so, and also, again, we have this new thing now. Which, if we put this on, that is pretty stinking cool. See if we... Now, I'm getting distracted playing with the fashion. Very nice, very nice. Now, put on that. And we got ourselves a Taken Titan. Taken Titan. Very cool. Fashion game is going to go off the rails thanks to the ability to be able to put legendary modifiers on our exotics now. Now we'd be looking good when we roll into combat. Alright. So, anyways, let's... should we try to solo op? Should we go into the... You know, we don't have much time left, so let's go ahead and finish showcasing everything. We did see a bit of the actual Titan capabilities on the new distortions for what Destiny has given us. So before we wrap up today, let's go ahead and check out to see what the new content we have for our Warlock. All right. So rolling up in this build, we are using the Nezarec Sin. Okay. Now, I did put out a post on this just before the Monument of Triumph update. And I am sitting on Child of the Old Gods. That is what I'm sitting on. Still playing around with the setup. I will say still playing around with the setup, but I will say with the new Soul Siphon aspect, it's hitting. it's hitting hard. Now, if you don't know where to get it, you're going to go to the tower and you're going to unlock it from Ikora Ray. If you're a new light, it's the same exact process that you would unlock the rest of your abilities and aspects and fragments and supers and all the things in the light subclass. If you're not, if you've been playing around, if you've been playing since Red War like I have, and you have not started a new campaign at all or create a new character, then you need to go to Ikora Ray in the tower and talk to her, and you'll be able to navigate and find where to actually buy the new aspects and fragments. Oh, also a major thing I forgot to mention. I'm going to go ahead and do this now too. Where's it at? Neptune. They finally did it. They finally did it. One of the biggest headaches in the game as far as Strand is concerned is the fact that Strand, you needed to have actual Strand fragments, Strand meditations. And as you can read, this item serves no purpose and can be safely dismantled. If you're already putting two and two together, they finally did it for Strand. You don't need Strand meditations anymore. All you need is the Glimmer. They finally glimmerized Strand. And I got to pick up the new grenade too. But now all of them cost Glimmer. No more having to farm for Strand meditations. And if you're one of the ones that farm for Strand meditations, like I was, cool. I'm sorry. I know the Bungie does this a lot, but what can we say is probably one of the biggest headaches that were for Strand. So, regardless, get your new grenade. Grenade costs 3,000. Slice wire grenade. We plan around with this on a later date, but I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much cash in all the Glimmer that I got to finish getting all the fragments for Strand for my Warlock, just because I'm already here. And as you see, they're 10,000 per. So if you've been playing around for a while, then you already have, you should have enough Glimmer if you haven't unlocked all these strands stuff yet. But anyways, with that said, right, what the new Warlock is capable of, okay? And I do have the new hand cannon turncoat on here as well. I am going to be playing around with this because turncoat is absolutely amazing. If I have the time, I'll showcase that today. But if not, I'm also thinking about playing around with third iteration, because in this build, in this Warlock build, we are capable of getting Devour, right? And even though I don't have the Devour aspect on, right? We're capable of getting Devour as well as Overshield all together. And notice that my class stat is 3. So when we get into the gameplay, pay attention to the class stat, see how slowly it comes back, right? Artifact we're using is we're using this Slayer Baron with the following aspects, right? Supernova, pick him a Void Breach, cause your next source of void damage to create a large weakening pulse. Severe Cold, pick him a Void Breach, is granting melee energy, so this is going to be good to keep that rotation for our Soul Siphon going. Void Renewal, while Devour is active, Void Weapon Final Blows have a chance to generate Void Breach, and picking Void Breach increases weapon reload and handling. Shotgun and grenade launchers also reload from reserves. Now we focus on that. But Debilitating Wave, this is kind of the only thing because I kind of ran out of different aspects to slot in here. So I'm going more so for the finisher side of this. Okay. Occasionally applying finishers. But if we do get a finisher, we'll create a weakening explosion. Curative Words, the first time collecting elements to pick up or collecting armor power or destroy a tangle grants you a small amount of health. It's a nice little add-in there. Power from Pain, this is on I think almost every fragment that has Void. When you defeat a weakened target, combatants grant you Devour and create a Void Breach. And then Total Carnage. After finishing powerful combatant, gain a temporary damage resistance and replenish health. Okay, we're also going to be slotting in Echo of Obscurity, which gives a +10 in class, to also, because we have a lot of negatives going on, which is why we only have 3. But giving us +10 in class also going to give us invisibility, which will be nice addition. And also the reason why I'm writing third iteration is because the capability of making us go invisible. Okay, and also because amalgamation rounds are going to cause us to spread weaken. So in this build, we are spreading weaken like crazy. Now, the only thing that I am not added in, which I might consider adding in actually, is Echo of Domineering. Suppressing a target gives us increased weapon stat. And with that, I might also go back to Turncoat. I want to play around with both of these, but Domineering requires you to suppress. Well, if everything we're doing is weakening, how to do that? We're doing that by two sources. One, Nezarec Sin has been updated to where Void Final Blows increase ability and duration recharge rate. That's the old one. And the new part, combatants affected by Soul Siphon are suppressed. So that means that when we have, when we're suppressing targets from Soul Siphon, or now Child of the Old Gods will also suppress, we will get, I believe it's a plus 30 to our weapon stat, causing us to go up to 80. Weapon's not an entirely big focus on this build. That's okay, but it does help. Okay, now, without further ado, let's actually get into some gameplay here to actually see how good is the build. We still have, how much time we have for distortions? 7 minutes. We're going to rock with 7 minutes. Plug event starts in minute 5. All right. Probably less than the time I get there. So let's go check out the new distortions. I will say though, I am definitely thinking that Turncoat is gonna give us that void gunslinger build with Hunter. Because my first idea is putting on, because I'm pretty sure that Stylish is anytime you defeat a weakened target, it'll give you invisibility. Alright, but we got a few minutes left of the distortion here. Probably a few minutes left of this live stream. I don't know. We'll find out. And I just accept it. Nice job. Nice job. Let's try this again. From the top. Let's go around the pit of death. Probably down where everybody's at. Let's figure out where this is. Am I going the wrong way? Hey. Who's shooting at me? Oh, you were. Alright, whatever. Alright, anyways. Where am I going? Why is it not pulling up? Add a waypoint. Oh, probably because it's here.
Attention! A fallen mining expedition is on its way. May I suggest discouraging them?
Alright. So anyways, just kind of go ahead and preview what this does. Prime the, you end up using prime the, getting a melee kill or damage target melee, and then you can go to either one target or multiple targets and literally just drain the life out of them. And yes, because it's a melee ability, this can be boosted with things like, sorry, brain just went out for a second. 1-2 punch. I about said grave robber. I'm like, it's not grave robber. It's not grave robber. Don't say grave robber. Alright, but I'm gonna go test out the capabilities of this weapon, of this setup. And let's go ahead and drop the rift, get Child of the Old Gods out.
That way for long.
And the other thing you gotta keep in mind is that go invisible. And you know what? We're gonna go back Turncoat. We'll test this. We'll test this privately on a solo ops. Also to showcase the new capabilities of the new one of the new exotics. Because so far, apparently we've had three exotics that they dropped when they only told us one. Where's everybody going? I gotta say, the distortion looks so cool. It's definitely a nice refresh to the planetary stuff. Well, what's the point of helping everybody with this if you keep on taking all the kills? I don't know where I was going. I thought it moved. Alright. So, now the good news is with this too. Woven mail. How do we get that? Oh, that's probably for somebody else. Anyways. The good news with this build as well is that, especially with Nezarec Sin, you're gonna be getting... Now, they did update it to only getting a 1.5 recharge rate instead of a 2.5 times recharge rate. Minor difference there, but the other thing with the 2 is that you are constantly dealing void damage in this build. So you are constantly going to be... I just took out somebody, I think. There we go. You're constantly going to have Overshield and Devour up. If you're taking out targets left and right, especially with Soul Siphon or whatever, you will be... no problem. Especially with Latent Power, too. Turncoat, well, especially once you get that Overdrive ability, and it starts damaging you, then we're not going to be able to test this properly. There's no worries with the setup there. Get some of that melee energy back. Thanks, Charlie Old Gods. Let's get the Overdrive. And now for the Hipfire action, which is also going to weaken. And the only the downside is instead of taking bullets, it takes your health. Pretty much. Which, if you are constantly getting Devour, if you have Devour up, you can just spam this the entire time. Like, it's a great... I want to say it has a great boss DPS. So, we're going to get this chest real quick. If we have time to jump into solo ops, we will. Exodus down bond. Already seen what that does. If you don't know, check out the previous live stream. It's okay. We'll have plenty of time to go and check more of this out. Plenty of time. As the days go on, we'll be explaining and going through and exploring all this stuff. But let's go into a solo ops real quick. Hopefully not embarrass ourselves this time. What do we have right now? We have all three. We don't need to worry about that. I don't need a repeat of the Titan. Solo ops because they're quicker. Let's do Skywatch this time. We'll run into S. Or S plus tier. We have Barrier. Great. That's what we want. Especially because our primary exotic weapon does deal with barriers naturally. Got that trip going. I gotta say, I feel like I'm getting better at my trip game. My fashion game. I'm also having a lot of fun on this build specifically too. Like, someone asked me a while back, they didn't know what my main was. I started my Destiny 2 journey on Warlock. I started it on Warlock. Which, if you're here, throw in the chat real quick. What is your main and what did you start on? And was your starting class, is it still your main? Because I started on Warlock, but I ended up switching over to Hunter. So, all right, now I gotta focus. Get the Soul Siphon going. Get all three. Zap. Get the overshit. This thing is so overpowered, especially if you put on oh, what's it called? Not Feed the Void. No, it is Feed the Void. Devour. You're gonna be like, you will not die. It is nearly impossible for you to die. Soul Siphon going. So voila. 20 seconds of solid overshield. And let's see if we can get some DPS going with our... Because I know a... Yep, there you are. Let's just annihilate the champion real quick. And just, like, come back to life. Like, goodness gracious. Again, this thing is absolutely ridiculous. Prime. Get the drain. This is... Oh, this hand cannon is ridiculous in a good way. We get the overshield. We get the devour. We get the... Oh my goodness. This is awesome. The only thing, like, I can honestly say I'm okay with not having the invisibility. I'm okay with not having the invisibility. So I'd probably sub this out for maybe Echo Provision. Do I still have... Oh, no, I don't have it on. Oh, no, we're getting Echo of Expulsion. Is that going to refresh our entire thing? Yes, it will, but let's see what we can do without it, right? Let's see how much... Let's see... Let's put Nezarec Sin to the test. Because now we have Devour. And we have... our melee. And Overshield. And let's get this going. Child of the Old Gods. Oh, too much. Too much damage there. Let's get you going over there. Hello, thank you. Get the Supernova going. Thank you for the full overshield. I'm pretty sure that also... I have to look back at it whenever I'm not in combat. Or if someone's able to check for me in the chat real quick. Pretty sure that... Soul Siphon does take care of the... does give us class ability energy back. Oh, dang it, there it goes. Alright, so... just remind me about Devour. Final blows restore health and grant energy. Okay, so... it didn't... maybe it's just I was taking too much damage, but it didn't look like that Devour was actually reprocking my health. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was, like I said, maybe I was taking too much damage there. Did I take that crystal? I think I did. So the only two left are those two up there. Yep. And get the super going. Thank you. Get the drain. Get the overshield back going because... oh, it didn't give the overshield. Why? Interesting. Alright, last one. What'd you get in there? Ridiculous. Yeah, I gotta say, I think the Warlocks are gonna be eating good this now. Especially Void Warlock. Having a means of getting Overshield and Devour at the same time is insane. It is absolutely insane. Alright, but since we have the time to check it real quick, let's go ahead and check it. Once ready, you pledge the melee ability to begin siphoning energy from all combatants in front of you, dealing damage and gathering Overshield and class ability energy from each target. So, I wonder if... So the other thing I would love to test later is, does the amount of class ability energy you get back, does that scale with how much you absorb back? Because if it does, then we need to focus on class stat to help with our Rift ability. Get the Soul Siphon going. Oh, we're gonna die. We're so gonna die. Maybe not. Not today. That's a good note, too. Even if you have your class ability, if you use all your melee charges, this will still give you a melee charge. Come on. And we're just nailing in overwhelming power while sitting in Healing Rift. That's a good combo right there. This build is absolutely insane. Like, I will give it that. Let's see if we'll finish in the time limit. I don't know if we will. Getting that class, what do I mean, that class ability back. Oh, we're out of ammo both. We do have a full latent power though. Alright, get that overshield up. Get that rift down. 30 seconds. Got him. And that was on an ultimate S+. Almost flawless.
It gives me a hope that we might repopulate sectors like this one day. Maybe
Coming. All right, gotta go.
This is a nice park with a big statue of the Guardian.
Alrighty, everybody. Sorry about that abrupt change. My daughter started to wake up, and she was starting to freak out. So, but as per rules of my channel, that because whenever my daughter wakes up, I do end up ending the channel. So, with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today. And if you are here on the rebroadcast, go back, check out. We did get to display and go through the new changes to Hunter, the changes to the Titan, the changes to the Warlock, as well as the new things that Monument of Triumph has released. So, hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today, and see you guys around